All right, guys, Kenny Smith, Total Force Holdings. Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about the next step up in security work, and that's going to be like your armed courier or your armored car guard. They are two separate licenses. An armored car guard is just that. He's driving an armored car. He's escorting money to and from, all right, the cash in transit kind of thing. Those are typically going to be fairly big companies with fairly extensive policies, and I've seen good people running with armored cars. I've seen shit people running with armored cars. The big thing with armored cars is you're carrying a high value target. So now all of the other stuff that you've seen some of by now in my other series I'm doing this week on my personal armed security officer's duty rig, when I'm working in a uniform capacity as opposed to on some of my other paper that allows me to do plainclothes stuff. Yeah, you'll see everything from squared away dudes to like totally disheveled. You don't necessarily need, as an armored car guard, some of the other quote unquote enforcement type gear around because you're protecting that money and you're deterring a robbery. All right, maybe one pair of cuffs. All right, I wouldn't necessarily go so far as the OC. If I was, maybe I would. If I was in the truck, I wouldn't carry anything but my handgun, spare ammunition, and a flashlight and my radio. If I was the guy walking money to and from, obviously policy dependent, then I might want things like the taser, like the OC spray. The baton's a useful tool anyway. Definitely something like that. I think every security officer needs to carry a flashlight. Just human eyes work better with light. So yeah, the armored car guard, I don't know much about that. I've got a buddy who did that for a while, but I've never personally done it. I have no interest in doing it. The next one is the armed courier. This is similar to an armored car guard, but you're carrying items for a private venue, right? From point A to point B, but you're not in an armored car doing bank deliveries. Now, I've done some armed courier work. It's not bad. It's really boring. It's a lot of time on the road. And it's not a hard license to get. But if you want to get into I've got a buddy who owns a pawn shop and he does some gold, silver, stuff like that. And I do some of his deliveries for him. That's where an armed courier license comes into play. You can do stuff like that. Now, me and him, that's my boy. I've known him for 20 plus years now. So it's not like I charge him what I would charge somebody else. Then again, it's not the type of work that I personally enjoy in the security field, but it's not bad either. 90% of the time, it allows me and my wife to get paid to go on a road trip. So, because she'll ride with me for some of them. But yeah, armed courier, that's another interesting thing to do. I would still suggest going on ahead and getting your armed guard card so you know the limits of your authority as a private security agent. But yeah, that's not a bad one to get into either. You can actually make some serious money in the right area with that license.